Now, bringing you the very best in New Hampshire-based local music on IPMNation.com and 100.1 The Planet, this is Local Outbreak.
Listen up, I told you once. Never speak on what you see. Now I heard you said too much. It's time to go for a little ride. You're not coming back. You've seen way too much. You're not coming back. You said way too much. Mother left you when you were 10. Father you have never seen him. A troubled life took you away. Left alone on Judgment Day. You're not coming back. You've seen way too much. You're not coming back. You said way too much. You're not coming back. I hope to God you say it's got to be. If it ain't you, then it's me. Forgive me, please forgive me. Have mercy on my soul. Please forgive me, please forgive me. Have mercy on my soul. Please forgive me, please forgive me. Have mercy on my soul. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. You're not coming back. You're not coming back. You're not coming back.
I've had that song stuck in my head for a solid week now. That is Not Coming Back by Day to Attend, who were here with us last week. And there's a very specific reason why we played that. And we have joining us live in studio, and these fine people were spoken about last week by the band because we had Day to Attend here with us in the first hour. And now they are joining us, and we get to speak with them live on the air. We have Sheila and Tony Russo from Paperjam magazine. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to be here.
Yes, yes. And by the way, so you brought us, this is cool. I should hold this up for people watching online, the Girls Rock edition of Paperjam magazine. And for those of you who don't know, so this is a publication. Well, tell us a bit about this. How long has Paperjam existed?
We're in our third year.
Yeah, we're coming up on our third year, about 2.5 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
about 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, the way we met was through Day to Attend, because they were our guests in the first hour last week, and they're on the current, the cover of the current edition.
They are our cover story for this new issue.
Yes, and they are in the chat room as well. So, in fact, I think it was Tom Siracusa was saying, if I'm saying his last name correctly, that I have great taste in music. I assume because I played the Day to Attend.
Well, definitely made my morning starting off with that song, because I'm a huge fan of Day to Attend.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were talking about that off air. Is it the CD release party is on your birthday?
Yeah. Happy birthday to me, because their new album, World of Zen, Falling Awake, is going to be available on August 3rd.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we played a bunch of their tracks for the first time on the radio when they were here last week, and no, those guys are absolutely amazing. I do want to make sure we say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat because, like I said, you do have some fans in there. Yep, Jeff Richards from Day to Attend in the chat room says hi, Sheila and Tony.
Good morning, guys.
And
good morning.
We love Paperjam, they say. Tom Siracusa says Paperjam into house. Let's see. Oh, and Anthony Nicastro from Purging Sin.
Yeah, Purging Sin, another great band. I believe they just opened up for Godsmack and Flat Black, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's a big show. Yeah,
that's a big show.
Good for them. They've been around a while. Miriam Banish joins us in the Facebook. She says, excellent song. I assume referring to Not Coming Back. Yeah, that, like I said, that's been stuck in my head for the past week. So I'm glad I had a good excuse to play it again on the show this morning. Melanie La Liberty, one of our great friends from the state of Vermont, joins us in the chat room. Daniel Siracusa says, love Day to Attend, seeing them in Drakeit at the boat tonight. Oh, yeah, they were talking about that show. Oh, that must be Tom's brother. Yeah, so Paperjam, so it's been around for 3 years, you said?
Yeah, 2.5.
Two and a half years? Yeah. Okay. And it's gone through a bit of a transformation, right? Because now, so it had been strictly paper, but now it's also a digital magazine publication.
Yes, that's brand new as of about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
We decided to do a digital version because a lot of people were asking for it.
Yeah.
And so we took some time to think about it and to make the decision. And I'm very happy with the response that we received when people realized they could click the link, click and read the digital version. Yeah. But the paper copies are definitely not going away, right?
No. We'll definitely keep the paper stuff.
That's what we're about. So.
Yeah.
That's hence the name.
So now you can choose. Now you can choose. You can get your paper copy, or you can, going forward, read a digital version. So.
And by the way, so I suggest people check out paperjammagazine.com. I'm looking at it right now, and we were talking off air. I was complimenting Sheila on her web design because I love the website. It looks really good, and I'm a web design nerd, and I'm very critical of websites, and I see a lot of websites that aren't great. But this one's really good, and like I said, it's perfect for what you're doing. So I suggest everyone check it out. Now, on the website, are all the back issues on the website?
They are.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. That must have taken a while that must have been a lot of work, I would imagine, to get all of that.
It was a lot of work. Yeah. Worth it, though.
Absolutely. But so the paper version is not going away.
No.
Now, that's what's interesting about that. So I'm really curious about that. So when you decided to start Paperjam, and obviously, as you said, it's called, so the name, it's called that because it's a paper publication.
That's right.
Did anyone try to talk you out of it? And the reason I ask that is because we live in an era where everything is digital, and a lot of publications like newspapers and a lot of magazines over the past 20 years have been gradually going away because they didn't find it to be a sustainable model. And some of them went away. You know, some of those companies have gone away completely. Yeah. A lot of them now are strictly online.
Right.
So, I mean, did anyone say to you, wow, because honestly, like if I knew you before you started this,
right.
I probably, and you would talk to me about it, I probably would have been like, I don't know. I would have been skeptical. You know what I mean? Just as a business person, you took the risk and you've obviously made it work. This is a success, and it's very impressive, by the way. And I was talking too about when Day to Attend was here, and I'm kind of flipping through the issue that they were in, and I'm like, wow, this is really, there's a lot here.
There's a lot. It's always jam packed.
So you've really made this work. But did anyone? I mean, I assume you had people who were skeptical, people who were doubters, and you had to kind of prove them wrong.
Believe it or not, what's so interesting is maybe that worked in our favor. That
Yeah.
paper publications went away, because do you recall the era of zines?
Oh yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
zines
Yeah,
when,
absolutely.
when your
That's
band?
where the whole idea came
That's
from.
where the whole
Really? Yeah,
idea came
yeah.
from.
'Cause
Yeah.
I used to live in Massachusetts, and I was, I played in bands my whole life.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of zines like The Noise and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was like a big deal if your band got in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's it's something I still have to this day. I can show, my nieces and nephews. I'm like, oh, look, I was actually in a magazine.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah. Like you could walk into any music venue
Yeah.
and see stacks of different,
Right.
Yep, all the different ones.
Yeah, yeah.
And they went away, just like you said.
Yep, yep.
And so one night, Sheila's an English major, and I'm like, listen, this was after a gig. It's like 2:30 in the morning.
It was 2:30 in the morning.
No
And,
kidding.
I'm like, zines used to be a big deal. It's too bad that we have such a great music scene and that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
It's like we should start our own magazine. And
So Tony
it's like
gets-
you love English and you love music,
Yeah.
Tony gets all the credit for coming up with the idea. So this is a true story, right, Tony?
It's
so
true.
the next day,
I woke up.
he woke
And-
up, and I had already been to Staples
Yeah.
and made a mock-up.
Yeah.
So
And
within like 6 hours, she already had one.
Wow.
And so what's so interesting, and so to answer your question, did anyone try to talk us out of it or encourage us to go a different route? No. In fact, it caught on quickly.
yeah,
And
we had
people-
actually a lot of support.
Good.
and
good.
so we tend to say that we're old school in a lot of ways, and so we liked the idea of bringing back zines but making it more modern.
Yeah.
And so everyone was really encouraging right from the beginning. So maybe the fact that paper publications went away worked in our favor, because here they were coming back
Right.
and people were really digging it.
It's like there was a void that needed to be filled.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
no one
And-
was doing it.
And,
yeah.
and so it was working out great.
And we didn't. It's not really like a business per se. It's we don't make money from it. We're
Yeah.
not in it to make money from it.
Yeah.
The idea was just to give some support and recognition to the awesome
To all the
musical
local bands.
community that
Yeah.
we have. 'Cause
Yeah.
it really is all the bands that you meet and talk to,
Yeah.
and many, many more. They're all just real nice guys. So the idea was just sort of give back a little bit. I play in bands, so I know what it's like.
Do you play currently, or you?
Oh yeah, I'm in 2 bands.
Oh,
right now.
what bands?
I'm in the Aunt Peg band
Okay.
out of Rochester, and I'm in a band called PSE out of Alton.
Oh, cool. Excellent. Yeah. So this is now when it started. Was the first issue like this where?
no, it was
Okay.
very different. I
Yeah,
brought the
first-
coveted first issue to show you.
Oh yeah, yeah. For those watching online, if you're watching on Facebook,
So
you
that
can
was made
see-
at Staples.
This is made at
Oh.
Staples, and I hand stapled it at my kitchen table and put them around town. This was how it started, 8 pages.
Wow.
I had
Yeah.
500 copies made, and I hand stapled them at my kitchen table, and then I drove them around town, and that's how it started. So this
Yeah.
is the coveted first issue,
Wow.
and it features our friend Wendy Gagnon-Poor, who says meet the singer in 3 bands. So
Okay.
Wendy's in 3 bands, so I asked her to be on our first cover.
Yeah.
And it took off from there. So 8 pages turned into 12,
Yeah.
and 12 turned into 16. So I decided I couldn't hand staple that many copies anymore.
Right.
So I found a local printer right in Rochester who are fabulous.
Yeah.
And so the magazines are now printed by Lilac City Printing
Okay.
in Rochester.
And they hate the name.
And they gave us a,
Really?
It's Paper
Oh,
Jam.
Paper
Yeah.
Jam. Yeah.
Yeah.
A printer's nightmare. Yeah.
it was really funny because the printer took us back and showed us this giant machine that they print the magazines on.
Yeah.
And they said we really hate it when we get a paper jam. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it was really funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it kept expanding and and
And actually, it started out quarterly. It was the idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And within, I think, the second issue, there was so much clamor that we were like, okay, we have to at least go bi-monthly.
Yeah.
And so we've been bi-monthly ever since.
so
Wow.
it's just been on
And
a
it's just-
complete.
Getting bigger and more
Yeah.
pages. And
We love it. It's a lot of fun.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever have moments where you go, wow, this is a lot of work? Like, I mean, I assume, or I mean, do you have help with it, or do you
No.
do this all yourselves?
that's all Sheila.
Oh, that's
Sheila,
Wow.
I'm like a musical consultant.
Yeah. Yeah.
and she does all the real heavy lifting.
Oh, no.
I say,
kidding.
Tony, what type of gear did he say that he plays? And
Yeah,
then he
yeah.
helps me with that.
Right.
So yeah, it's all me for now. I could really use some staff.
Yeah. No kidding.
Very
huh?
busy. But I'm not complaining. It's
Yeah.
it's been a great thing, and we have one of the best music communities, and it's really
it's a lot of fun because
it's really a lot of fun.
We have these bands come over the house. We got our basement done, and there's my band practice, so there's a full practice space.
Yeah.
So they come over. We have our interview with them. A lot of times they'll play. We talk guitars and all that kinds of stuff. But it's just great to meet all the people, and we always spend a few hours with them.
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
Yeah.
So usually Sundays is Paperjam interview day.
Okay.
So Sunday we'll prepare. We finished our basement. We call it the R&R Lounge, right? Russo and Russo.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it kind of looks like a little pub down there with a live jam space.
Yeah.
So we usually an interview. When the band arrives, we greet them outside. We bring them in, and we have some food and snacks. We give them a little tour of the guitar lounge.
Yeah.
And
I have a guitar room.
Okay.
And then we start with the interview.
Yeah.
And we start with like a speed round, and we have some fun. And there's usually a lot of laughs.
Yeah.
Great time.
Now, so what's your process for the interview? Do you record it? Do you record audio of it and then take it and?
I actually literally type. I type while they answer.
No kidding.
Yeah, I do. I type.
Yeah, she types
Wow.
I type
super fast.
I
Are
type.
you fast? Yeah.
I do type their answers. As they're
Okay.
answering the questions.
Yeah.
And then so I have not recorded any of the interviews. However,
we are gonna go down that road.
we're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna start Zoom interviews on August 18th.
Okay.
We have our first Zoom interview because what happens is some of the bands who want to be in Paperjam live 2 or more hours away
Yeah.
in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And so I don't expect everyone to travel that far.
Yeah.
So I decided to start Zoom interviews, and that comes with the capability of recording. So then that's when I'll start recording. And
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, will you post the video of that as kind of like a?
I hadn't thought
in
I
addition
hadn't
to-
thought that far ahead.
I would say
but I actually
probably
like
excerpts,
excerpts.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
because there's always there's inevitably somebody say something. Oh, don't put that in there.
Right.
You know,
Right.
We have this running
Yeah.
joke that everybody says, "Strike that from the record. Don't
Yeah.
print that."
Yeah, because I'm thinking that'd be a good teaser to get
Oh, yeah.
before the
Yeah.
issue comes
It's a
out.
great
Put
idea.
out little clips on YouTube,
Yeah.
and Facebook, and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So some of the bands play when they come to their interview in
Yes.
our jam space, and some don't.
yeah.
But we love it either way.
Yeah.
Everyone who comes, every band who comes is welcome to play a few songs.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's
and sometimes
cool.
we'll put some of that up.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
them playing
Yeah.
and so forth.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, so what is the criteria in terms of artists who are in Paperjam? Do you focus on New Hampshire, or is it a wider area?
New
or-
Hampshire
mainly
based?
focus
Okay.
focus
Focus
on
on
New Hampshire.
Okay.
We started out just trying to keep the local area, like Rochester, Dover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because we didn't, we don't have that much money.
Yeah.
To pay for, a million pages.
Right.
And it's a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
So we started out that way, and as it's grown, more and more people from further away
Yeah.
are getting into it. The whole idea, though, was that we support any and all music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There are I don't care if it's your first day playing guitar or you've been playing for
That's
50
right.
years.
Yeah.
So
Or
all
what kind of
levels,
music it is, or it doesn't matter.
and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you're country, pop, jazz,
Yeah.
all levels. It's all inclusive.
Yeah.
The whole idea is just to support everybody.
Yeah.
We are getting contacted by bands outside of New Hampshire.
Yeah.
That's maybe been one of the more difficult parts. Is I don't want to say no to anybody, but at
Right.
the same time, there are so many local bands that still are on our list.
Yeah.
So I have a list called Bands in Line.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there is a waiting list,
Yeah.
and we're full through much of 2025.
Oh wow. No kidding.
Yeah, so the bands have been real patient and understanding that they have to wait in a little bit of a line.
Yeah.
So that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
think,
Definitely.
Yeah.
But when I start hearing from bands in other states, that's when I have to kind of think about New Hampshire based for
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's only going to obviously as you as you continue to grow, that'll probably continue to intensify. I would think.
Right.
And especially now with the website too, you're going to be you probably already are hearing from a lot more.
Yes,
Out of
it's a
state
very
artists.
busy mailbox.
Yeah, yeah,
One of the things that Sheila came up with, because we can't have all these bands from everywhere at this point, is that if they contact us and we can't necessarily put them in she does like a spotlight special on the website and puts something together
Oh.
for an advertisement. Some of them.
Yeah, I put together a little video
Yep. And we try
ad
and
for them.
Support them that way.
And
Oh, cool.
Pop it up on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
So that they had so that they can be have a spotlight, but not necessarily end up in the pages of the magazine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
that was
cool.
my way
Yeah.
of sort of like not saying no.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. And tell me about getting on the cover. Like, is there in terms of who gets on the cover? Like, what is the decision making process there? And is there a criteria? Like when you put obviously Day to Attend, they certainly deserve to be on the cover. And
Yes, they do.
I'm so glad that you did that. And I know they are too, because they speak very highly of Paperjam and what you're doing. But how does that work? Getting on the cover?
Getting on the cover, I think people believe it's because we personally love that band the most, or that we think they're better, or when in fact it has
Very
not
little to do with
very
that.
little to do with that. It has something to do with that because y'all know I love Day to Attend. So
Yeah.
they're going on the cover.
Yeah.
But all of the bands that have been on the cover and all of the bands that have been in the pages of Paperjam, they're all equal to us. We don't play favorites.
Yeah.
It actually boils down to mostly timing. Who reached out first?
Okay.
Right.
And I said, I don't have anyone for my cover next month. And it's a band that draws a big crowd,
Yeah.
big following.
Or another factor is if they have like a CD just coming out.
Yeah.
Or,
Okay.
So if
You
you've
know.
got a CD coming out, or if you signed we had one band who signed a production deal, and they're on our cover, Vigil,
Yeah, Visual's great.
great metal
Good
band.
metal band.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon Finney.
Yeah.
Yes,
I know
Brandon
Brandon.
and-
Yep.
Great
Yep.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
and Craig
been,
and those guys.
He's been on the show. He hasn't been on for a very long time, but he's been on. Yeah.
He's good people.
Yeah.
So really, it's about timing. Who contacts us first? If you contact me in January, I'm not going to make you wait. You got in first. So it's a combination of timing. What's new? What's in the news for you? What can we report on? And also, who's a big band?
Yeah.
But some of the other bands that have been not on the cover are also cover worthy. And we had a saying where we're like, there's only one cover, and there's so many bands.
Well, yeah. I'm curious. I mean, is it ever a hard decision?
It is a hard decision.
Yeah.
Bands like Middleman or Standard Tuning, or bands like, they're fantastic, and we just only have one cover. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, sometimes too, what we'll try and do is, whether it's the issue, if it's a different issue before they're going to be in it, sometimes we'll give them the back cover.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
it's not the cover, but it's the
Right.
back cover.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, or if we're going to tease something, like a band coming in the next issue, or we might put that on the back cover or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the back cover of our Day to Attend issue, you'll see it has Cathedral, a tribute to Van Halen.
Okay.
So they're next on our cover.
Oh, cool.
So they're
a great band,
They're a
too.
great
Yeah.
band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great guitar player, and the bass player is super cool.
They're called Cathedral.
Cathedral, a tribute to the music of Van Halen, fantastic.
Okay. Okay.
Featuring Tyler Morris, doing all the Eddie Van Halen
Oh, no kidding.
stuff. He's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that one.
Very cool. Very cool. And how many of these? So you've got this this girls rock where obviously you've got a montage of female musicians on the cover. It's a special edition.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done more than one of these special editions where instead of just putting one artist where you
That's the only one so far.
No kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a very popular issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Gee, I wonder why.
Lita Ford actually saw Girls Rock issue.
Yes, she did.
We had a friend bring
Oh.
it to the Lita Ford show, and
Oh, no kidding.
I have a picture of her looking at it. And then we've also had Zach Wilde read Paperjam and sign it for us.
Yeah.
So that was a fun moment.
Yeah, we were talking about that off air. He gave you some. He gave you some marital
Oh, he did.
advice.
Yes, he did.
Because
yes.
because congratulations, it's been what 8 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank
so
you for that.
less than a year. It's still new, right?
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Can you tell us what he told you, or is that not appropriate for radio?
No, actually,
Tony, we love the story, so I'm sure
Oh,
Tony would be
cool.
happy to
Yeah.
tell you what Zach told us.
Okay.
he basically said, just use the word "I'm sorry." Be ready to say "I'm sorry."
Right.
He's like, my wife's never going to believe it, so I just say I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
He was
And,
really funny about
yeah.
it.
It was hilarious. And then he's like, So you say you're sorry, and then just say, "Do you want to go get some coffee?" And you go and just just let whatever problem it is roll off your back.
Right, right.
Is basically.
And
what
he said,
put it.
"Go have a
He's like,
go have a
"Go
cup
ahead,
of
you
coffee
wanna go
and
get
move
some
on.
coffee?"
Have
Yeah,
a happy
move on.
life."
Yeah.
And he
yeah.
wrote that all over the guitar
And he wrote it
case,
on the
and-
guitar case. So.
which is
Oh, no
funny because
kidding.
we've actually used the advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're at
sometimes-
odds or something.
Yeah.
I'll be
Tony
like,
goes,
"Okay,
"Do you want to have
wanna
a cup
some
of coffee?" And I go, "Yes," and then we're good.
So,
And then we say, "Thank you, Zach Wild."
yes, yep. He's a really nice guy though.
That's what I've heard. Yeah. Wait. Well, Jenny, you met Zach Wild, right? With Jeff
Yes.
At a this was a
Right
while-
here in Manchester.
Yeah.
When he was his 16th birthday present was surprise tickets to VIP tickets to the Black Label Society concert here in Manchester. It was awesome.
Yeah,
It was awesome. He told Jesse that he had a really cool mom. So I was like really excited about that.
When they were at it was still the Verizon Center then, right? Was that must have
Yeah.
been before it was Snoo? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't Snoo back then.
Yeah.
Back then, listen to me. Oh. But it was an amazing concert. It was definitely worth it, 100%. And I think the money from the VIP was going to a children's hospital or something like that. It wasn't, the band wasn't keeping it. It was all getting donated.
So,
I'm not surprised by that
Which,
at all.
yeah, no, it
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me at all
Yeah.
either. But that made it even more sweet to do the VIP knowing where the money was going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it was an incredible concert. Definitely a great memory. I still wear my T-shirt.
Yeah. Now, so Tony, I'm curious when you're, obviously you're in a couple bands. I assume you're out playing a lot of shows.
Yep.
Do people from other bands ever try to kind of lean on you, like, hey, get us into Paperjam?
Oh, yeah.
Get us on the
Yeah.
cover. We want to be on the cover, like
All,
that kind
all
of thing.
yeah, all
Do
the
they?
time.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And I mean, the answer is always yes. We'll get you in there.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly when, but we'll
Right,
get you
right.
in there.
Yeah.
We don't really say no to anybody.
Yeah.
And it's just again a matter of timing.
Yeah.
One of the coolest parts for me about all of this is that meeting all these guys from all these different bands, and I'm one of them. you
Yeah.
know? And so we go out, we see these bands play, we get to meet everybody. But then I see faces that from the other bands showing up to see me play, which is always
Yeah.
just it's again comes back to just an awesome community.
Yeah.
So, but it's really cool when I see the people that I've met through Paperjam
Yeah.
out in the crowd.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you get to see me play now. Cool, thanks.
Oh,
You know what
go
else
ahead.
is really cool is when Tony's playing a show or we go to a show and we look out in the crowd and there's always a handful of people in a Paperjam shirt or
Nice.
Paperjam hat or they're walking around picking up the issue because we leave them at the music venues.
Yeah.
Like usually when we go to see a show, we bring copies with us.
Yeah.
And the venues are so
Cool about it,
gracious
yeah.
and cool to let us put them there. And so we have a lot of drop sites
Yeah.
around, but I definitely like the music venues. And so we bring copies and see these strangers wearing a shirt or reading the magazine, and it's a pretty good feeling. And then the next thing you know, you see them again. And I don't know, we've met so many great people through this.
It's hilarious because some of the people will send pictures. Oh, I'm in Mexico at the beach, and where they're wearing their Paperjam.
Oh,
shirt. Or
nice.
I'm in Las
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah,
or,
we have this
you know,
travel. We have this,
around the world. Paperjam
we have this
around the
thing.
world.
Where is
Awesome.
Paperjam? So when they travel, they send me a pic in their shirts and
Oh.
tell me where they're from somewhere in the world.
Very cool.
Kind of fun.
Very cool. How do people get the shirts? Do they order them online? Or?
Yeah.
You can. We have men's and ladies shirts, and
Yeah.
just got some tank tops, and
Yeah.
Stickers and
yeah, we have stickers,
Like-
keychains, all
Very
kinds
cool.
of merch.
Yep.
So
And how many drop locations do you have? I assume that's grown over the.
it has
last
grown.
couple
I think we started with 6, 7, 8, and now I believe there's over 30. And I think definitely want to give a shout out to a friend of ours named Jim Antonino. He came into the Paperjam circle and has really been huge
Super supportive
and
and
super
a big
supportive
help.
in helping us get ads.
Yeah.
So
And
we
grow
weren't
it.
selling ads the first year and a half
Yeah.
or two. This is also kind of recent. Jim has been very helpful in helping us sell ads and find new locations to put Paperjam magazine.
Excellent.
And
which
we
is good 'cause we're
appreciate
not
him very
independently
much.
wealthy.
Right. Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was sort of sticking to, it's a hobby. I'm not trying to make money. I'm just trying to, help the bands get some recognition that they deserve. And then Jim came and said, "You have a really good model going here. Let me see where we can take this."
Yeah.
And so he has helped us so much. I appreciate you, Jim, very much. And so we've sold a few ads. And,
Excellent.
And we're just.
I have to give a shout out to Scott at Big Hit Guitars as well. He was one of the first to sign up.
Scott
He's
at
just a
Big
great
Hit
guy.
Guitars.
What a
Awesome
great
guitar shop
store
in
right
Barrington.
Barrington, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Real nice stuff. He's got the whole range, but he's got some real nice high end.
Excellent.
So even though it's just us in one sense, it's really not just us because we've had help along the way.
Yeah. Oh, that's outstanding. By the way, Jay Bello, who I'm sure you all know from Chasing the Devil, he's in the chat room. He says, thank you all so much for what you do for local music and musicians.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very nice. Yeah. Jeff Richards, of course, from Day to Attend says, Black Label played Chantilly's in Manchester once with Robert on bass, who is in Metallica now.
Yeah.
Wow, they played. Wow.
Yeah.
I remember
Love
going
that.
to a lot of shows back in the day at Chantilly's, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That must have been when Black Label Society was just starting out. If they were playing
That would
Chantilly's.
have been way back.
That had to be way back, yeah.
early 2000s probably.
I still remember the first time I ever saw Zach Wilde when he was, I think it was in the Ozzy's No More Tears video.
Yeah.
He looked
Yeah.
very different then.
Oh, he was,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
a pretty boy.
He looked very different.
That's the Zach Wilde I fell in love with.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
No More Tears era.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
the Theater of Madness tour at the Orpheum. Which was
Okay.
the first one, and it was a small location. I was just starting to play the guitar,
Yeah.
so he just absolutely floored me. I
Yeah.
was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And I've never looked back. I've been obsessed with the guitar ever since.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Tom Siracusa from, of course, Day to Attend says Paperjam supports young musicians as well.
Yes.
Grimrock is in the Facebook live chat. Our friend from Pennsylvania. By the way, so coming up in the third hour, so he sends us a lot of cool stuff, and we have not opened this package yet. But this package here that I'm holding, we're going to. This is from Grim, from our friend Grimrock in PA, and we're going to open that in the. We know what it is, right?
I do.
It's obviously. I assume it's a CD.
I know what it
You
is.
know what it is, but
I'm not telling you nothing.
we're going to open that up today in the third hour live on the air. So looking forward to that.
Hee.
But no, he's amazing. But he says, hey, hope everyone's day rocks.
I have Grimm stickers
Yes.
along with my Day to Attend stickers.
Yes.
And I'm wearing a Day to Attend t-shirt.
Yes, that
Yes.
is true. Yes.
Yes, she is. Jen, I really wish I brought you Paperjam stickers. I'm going to send you some.
Oh,
We
yeah.
love stickers.
Yeah, Jenny loves the stickers. Yeah, you can see on, if you're watching live on Facebook, you can see Jenny's.
That's just one part of my laptop. They're on the bottom too.
Yeah.
They're on everything. I'm a sticker fiend.
Jenny's got a lot of stickers.
Jesse inherited that from me too. He's now stickering up his guitar case.
Oh, okay.
He's
Yeah.
on a mission.
Speaking of stickers, when the bands come for their interviews,
They give us. It's awesome.
they bring so much merch and they're
Yeah.
so generous. And so we too ended up with a large pile of band stickers, which we love.
Yeah.
I was trying to think what to do with them. So we went out and we bought like this huge poster board.
Oh.
And we made like a wall of stickers.
Oh,
in
that's
the-
a great
yeah,
idea.
Nice.
we filled it. So I got to start a new one. But they bring us all kinds of great things, CDs, shirts,
Yeah.
and it's been fantastic.
We used to have something like that in the old studio because we've only been here. When did we move here? October, November of last year. But when we were in our when WMNH was on our Elm Street location, we had a wall where you could put stickers,
Yeah.
and sign it, and but now that we're in this nice new place, is really not a place for that.
Yeah.
If somebody pulled out a Sharpie and signed the wall here, I'd get fired. But we we had a really cool thing where you could do that. But no, that's a great idea though.
The Rochester Opera House is cool about that. In the back part of the stage,
Yeah.
all the bands that have played there get to sign it.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
And a lot of the venues will have something like that.
Yes.
Where they'll have a sticker.
Oh, yeah.
all of stickers. And
You-
it's
used to
always a fight. Bands again. I'm going to put my sticker over there.
I used to see that a lot in Boston. Like when I was really active promoting live shows, I would see that at a lot of the Boston venues, and I'm sure a lot of them still have it, where it just covered in
Oh, yeah.
stickers, going back decades,
For sure.
And
Yeah.
you could kind of look at it and try to pick out, oh wow, I remember that band, and I remember that band.
Do you remember Sarah Morgan's Cove in Worcester?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, their claim to fame was the Rolling Stones played there once, and Aerosmith. But anyways, it was a cool place.
Yeah.
It's gone now, like
Yeah.
many of them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, Middle East, TTs, all those places, they all had stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of places come and go. Now Now, so do you ever feature anyone, or have you ever featured anyone in the publication who's not necessarily a musician, but is doing something else, like maybe someone who owns a venue or?
Yeah, that's a great question. We actually, in addition to band interviews, we also have spotlight articles.
Okay.
And there's a website for female drummers called Drummer Girls United. I think it has about 7,000 female drummer members.
Yeah.
And from that site, I have interviewed separately 3 female drummers. So we did spotlight on them. And then we've also done a spotlight on a few venues that feature live music. And I love to do spotlight articles. In the next issue, there'll be one with Scott from Big Hit Guitars that we mentioned previously.
Okay.
Going to spotlight his new guitar shop because it's fantastic.
It is really nice.
Is
It's bad for me because it's too close to my house.
So we tried. So the magazine, we try to include band interviews, and then we try to include some music-related articles.
Yeah.
Maybe about gear or how to promote your CD.
Yeah.
Or
Songwriting, lyrics, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we have the spotlight articles, which are generally shorter.
Okay.
And then we also add in some jokes and some trivia and some fun stuff. And people seem to like it.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Do you have a number of is there a number of artists that you try to have in every? Is there like a minimum threshold of artists that you try to have in each issue?
I started with 2 per issue, and it went to 3, and now in this Day to Attend issue, there's 4 bands.
Yeah.
Well, we did 4 full interviews.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the interviews, we try to find an angle. When the band arrives and we get situated, I let them know, like, as we talk through this interview, I need to find an angle for your band because otherwise it's all going to sound the same.
Right.
So
right.
I often ask, tell me about your background. What's your experience? How'd you learn to play music? Or I'll say, what venues have you played? Or who influenced you? Mm-hmm. All of those questions are often the same for every band, but it would all start to sound alike if we didn't find an angle.
Right.
And luckily, there always seems to be one.
There's always an angle.
Some band is, one band's coming out with a new album, or one band is brand new on the scene and they're trying to make a name for themselves. That's their angle, the new band on the scene. Or there's a band that's, all females, or there's a band that's made up of teenagers, like a band we featured in the Day to Attend issue.
Yeah.
Tom Syracuse's daughter, Hannah Rose, is 15, and she's a fabulous drummer, and she's in bands. And so we featured her in there as well. So we try to find the angle so that it all doesn't sound the same. Hopefully it's working.
Do you have prior experience interviewing or working in PR? Because what you just said, not everyone knows that. And it's evidence that not everyone knows that, because you'll see a lot of people who do interviews they just ask the same old questions. Yeah. Where are you from?
Yeah, where are you from?
What kind of music do you play? You know, so to know that, I mean, is that just something you knew instinctively, or do you have prior experience?
I don't have prior experience in interviewing or anything like that, but I've always been a writer.
Okay.
And so I have a book of short stories. I've written novels. Like I've always been a writer.
Okay.
And so I think from that, I learned some of that.
Yeah.
Some of,
Yeah, because it was obvious, looking at the Day to Attend article, it was like, okay, you know how to interview, because not everyone does. A lot of people try and they don't really know how to do it.
She does a great job.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of like the comedic value, the comedic value to the whole thing.
Right.
Now,
crack jokes,
another thing we put out the snacks.
Yeah.
Well, somebody asked you.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So another thing that's interesting about the articles is that some of them are written in a question and answer format, and other articles are written, just straight out, like about the band versus question
with
and
quotes
answer.
as opposed to
And so someone asked me one time, like, how do you decide? And I just said it depends on the feel of the band, what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Some bands feel more like a question and answer type interview. I can't really say why. It's a feeling, and it depends on the angle we want to talk about. So, and then I love to get the pull quotes, I call them. The pull quotes are inevitably someone during the interview will say something profound or interesting that stands out to me.
Yeah.
and I'll make a little note. Like this would make a great pull quote. And
Yeah.
then as you flip through the pages of Paperjam, you'll see a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like you'll see a band member's photo and then usually like a great quote that they gave us.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of fortunate because the bands make it easy for us. They have so much to say and they're great.
Is there anyone who's really surprised you? I mean, I'm sure there are, like who you interviewed them and they wound up being way more interesting than you expected. Like they just had a backstory that really maybe went in a direction you weren't expecting.
All
or
the
something.
time.
Almost every time.
Really?
There's
Yeah.
some sort of surprise that you, like even Day to Attend, those guys, again, wicked nice guys, but the way they all pulled together from all these different situations they were in over a long period of time.
Yeah.
And, it's just, but almost every band gives us some sort of, we didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is really cool.
It's
And you find out
fantastic.
somebody was like, oh, well, I was an opera singer. I didn't see that one coming.
Right. Right.
Right.
So, and stuff like that. So it's always an interesting time.
And isn't that one of the, like, I feel like for me as someone who interviews people, that's like one of the best things. I love when somebody says something to me I completely wasn't expecting, or they reveal something about
Me
themselves that just like, wow, I didn't see that coming. That just makes it so much more rewarding. You know what I mean?
I'll have to say that one of the questions I like to ask is, do you have any hobbies or interests outside of music?
Yeah.
Because they're all here to talk about their instruments and their music and experience. But sometimes I'm just curious to know, what do you like to do when you're not doing music?
Yeah.
And that's where it really gets interesting because you find out that,
Some people are a chef.
some people are
They love
a
to cook,
professional chef or some people.
or MMA. Or,
Yeah. And
it's,
so it's been really interesting to hear what they like to do outside of music.
Yeah.
To really get to know them. And that surprises me sometimes. We had one band member who told me he's made over 500 or 800, I forget, a very high number of skydive jumps.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
That was Scott, I think, from Stiletto.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think is smart too about your approach is it kind of, I think it probably snaps them out of, because I mean, I can kind of tell, and I'm sure you can too, when someone comes into an interview and they have an expectation of what they're going to be asked, and they've kind of already done the interview in their own mind, you know? So it's not, some musicians, I mean, I know from my experience, sometimes I'll interview someone and they seem really spontaneous and like they're fully engaged. And some people, you can kind of tell where, like I said, they've already done the interview in their brain.
Yeah.
They're just kind of giving you the answers to the questions that they're already expecting to hear. So if you can pull them out of their shell
Right.
by asking them something sort of outside of that,
Right.
that's a great technique.
We start with the speed round. We just throw out
Just to break the
questions
ice.
and
Really, yeah.
just to break the ice. We say like Megadeth or Metallica, cats or dogs,
yeah,
Fender or Gibson.
Fender or Gibson, like,
Yeah.
and then it
Mountains
gets
or
them.
lakes.
yeah,
Mountains or lakes, and
Beer or hard stuff.
Yeah. yeah.
and then once we get through
Muscle
that,
cars or motorcycles.
muscle cars or motorcycles.
Tattoos or piercings.
Jeff from Day to Attend says in the chat, it's amazing how Sheila compiles all that info into the amazing articles.
Thank you, Jeff.
How long does that take? I mean, it probably varies wildly from one to the next, but I mean,
It takes a long time.
yeah,
It's
not-
pretty much a full-time job outside of my regular full-time job.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And the second month, because we have 2 months, she has 2 months to do it.
yeah,
And so trying to get all the interviews, and inevitably, a lot of the interviews happen in the second month.
yeah,
So the last 2-3 weeks of that month,
It's like go time.
Sheila's like,
yeah.
I gotta go work on it. And she's always at the computer and,
Right,
just
right.
busting her cute little bum there to finish it up.
Does it come out the same day of the month?
We
No,
try
it,
and-
comes out, or-
it comes out at the beginning of it's bi-monthly, so
Yeah.
it'll come out early in the new month.
Okay.
But it's not always the same day.
Yeah.
I don't think the printer is open on the weekends, so
Oh,
sometimes
right.
we have to wait till Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, driving it around, and we both have day jobs. So,
Yeah.
just trying to find the time to go distribute it and so forth. So, usually within a few days of the beginning of the month, though.
Yeah.
Another thing that we do that people may not realize is that once the issue's done, so to speak, I always do proofs
Yeah.
from the printer. So I go pick up a black and white and a color proof, and I go over it page by page to make sure that the colors translate well.
Yeah.
And it looks good in black and white, looks good in color, make sure there's no spelling mistakes.
Yeah.
And as a grammar Nazi, I really have made typos before, and I didn't sleep for a week because I just don't want to make typos in my magazine. But it happens. We're all human.
Yeah.
But I try to go through it and check the colors and the layout and make sure it's all looking good. And before we hit what I call the go button.
Yeah.
So once I look at the proofs, then we hit the go button, and then the printer does their thing.
Yeah. I know what you mean about grammar. I'm the same way.
Right? You're the same way,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I did one issue where I said something about metal mayhem, and I misspelled mayhem, and
Yeah.
I didn't catch it, and it still bothers me to this day.
I would be the same way in that situation. Like I'm at the point where I'm horrified if I see something I posted on social media and I realize I misspelled something.
Yeah,
and I'll go
same.
back and correct it. And most people
Yeah.
wouldn't bother because it's just social media. But yeah,
No, I'm the same
I
way.
have to. Are you? Yeah,
Completely the same way.
yeah, yeah. Very cool. Oh, we should mention too. So is it everyone who's in the magazine gets a color copy, or
Yes.
is it, okay?
Yeah, we print in black and white for our paper copies
Yeah.
all over the community, but we always print full color copies for everyone who gets in the magazine.
Okay.
So every band that's in it, everybody in the band gets
Each
one.
member gets a color copy.
Oh, very cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. Tom Russo, who was also here with us last week, a very talented musician, he says, I'd love to get in your publication. This sounds great. Yeah, do you know Tom?
I don't.
Singer-songwriter, really talented
I know
guy.
the name.
Yeah, yeah.
I know the name.
Yeah, he's amazing.
But we can get you in there. Just
We
contact.
can get you in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, contact us.
What's the best way for, should they contact you through the website or on social media? What's
The best way is our email box.
Yeah.
It's Paperjam _ mag, M-A-G, at yahoo.com. So Paperjam _ mag at yahoo.com.
Okay.
And just tell us a little bit about who you are and your band. And, it doesn't have to be just a band. It could be solo musicians.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that too. So if you'd like to be in Paperjam, just send us an email and tell us a little bit about yourself. A lot of times people will send links so we can listen to their music, and we can go from there.
Yeah.
Again, there is a bit of a waiting line.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind waiting a little bit, but we can make it happen.
Yeah.
It's amazing how patient a lot of these bands are.
Sure, sure.
Is that or some of them will be like, I do want to be on the cover, and we're like, well, it's going to be like 8 months
Yeah.
before, and they'll be like, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll
yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
And they do, and it's great. Everybody really is supportive of it.
And it's a nice mix too, because we have cover bands, we have original bands, and then we have tribute bands.
Yeah.
So we've done all three, and so it's a nice mix there.
Yeah. Outstanding. Bless you, I think. Did you just sneeze?
Yeah.
Yeah. Our allergies have been, I have allergies. I don't know what your issue is.
I'm allergic to you.
Yes, that must be what it is. That must be what. And before we run out of time, the time goes so quickly. It's already approaching the top of the hour. But what do you have, or do you know yet? What's in store for the next issue? Obviously, Day to Attend is on the cover.
On the cover of this one, yeah. But for next time, we have Cathedral.
Okay.
The Van Halen tribute. Amazing Van Halen band.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Is Dumpster
With our
Fire
friend
gonna be-
Kirk Bartholomew, and it
Kirk.
features
He's awesome.
Kirk and Tyler Morris. We're looking at a band called Down by 10, a band called Dumpster Fire.
I think that's a great name.
yeah. Yeah.
I do love that. And we're looking at Scott at Big Hit Guitars for
Yep.
a nice spotlight article,
Yeah.
and lots more.
Excellent. Excellent. And who else is in the current one too? For obviously, Day to Attend is on the cover. Who else do you have in the current issue?
We have Standard Tuning, great cover band, and Sea Rock
Yes.
and Tainted
This-
Hearts.
this
Okay.
guy's where-
So Sea Rock is a band, a local cover band that came, and they gave us a very memorable interview because they were hilarious and made us laugh for 2 hours. So
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun.
They were wicked fun.
They just
Really?
were
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And Tainted Hearts is the young teen band that they range in age from 15 to 17, and that's who's in the current issue.
I think their name has come up on the show recently. I don't remember why, but
Tainted Hearts is Tom Syracusa of Day to Attend. That's his daughter.
his
Hannah
daughter,
Rose, yeah.
Okay, that's why. Yeah, so Tom must have mentioned that.
Yeah,
when they were here.
he must
Okay.
have mentioned that. So we were
No, I
happy.
have to just
put
for
them-
Tom. Guns N' Roses are awesome.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's for you, Tom.
He loves Guns N' Roses.
Well, don't we all?
Bah, I do.
Who does? I mean, or everybody. I mean, they're one of those bands. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, everybody either loves them or at least likes them.
Yeah.
Right? You
Yeah.
very rarely hear anyone say, "I don't like Guns N' Roses."
No, I don't know if that's ever happened.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody somewhere, but it's unusual. Like my favorite band is Kiss.
Right on.
But there are a lot of Kiss haters. Like there are a lot of people who will tell you they don't like Kiss. But no, Guns N' Roses. I don't know anyone who Jenny, Guns N' Roses?
Not particularly.
You don't particularly like them?
Yeah.
See, we found somebody live on
But
the
she
air.
didn't say she hates them either.
Yeah, you don't hate them though, do you?
I don't hate any musician.
Okay. Do you dislike them?
I'm not particularly fond of their music, no.
Oh, well.
Yeah, no.
Well, then.
I guess I can't say that next time.
No, I guess not. Jenny just...
You didn't ask me until now.
I guess
mean, do you ever hear me play them?
Actually, no.
Never.
That's
in all
true.
our years, like a decade, never.
Oh, and Jeff
Yeah.
Richards says, Kiss rules, Matt. You rock. Thank you. Yeah, we are out of time. Remind us again, where should people go online, the website, and anything else people should know about Paperjam?
Well, the website is paperjammagazine.com. So if you want to look at some back issues, I'll send it to you, mail order. I think it's only $4
Yeah.
to order a back issue.
Okay.
And the email is paperjam_mag@yahoo.com.
Okay.
And of course, we're on Facebook as well.
And we're on
Yes.
Facebook as Paperjam, the music mag for local bands and fans.
Okay. Outstanding. Sheila and Tony, thank you both so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
having us.
This has been wonderful. We'll have to do it again in the future. I love what you're doing. Very, very cool. And we'll actually end this segment with Ghost Inside, another great track from Day to
Love
Attend.
it. Great song.
And of course, Day to Attend is on the cover of the current issue of Paperjam magazine. And this is another great track. This is called Ghost Inside.
Sometimes I feel like I could fly to the heavens of the blue sky, even though I know it's in my mind. When the moment crashes down on you, you make believe that nothing you can do but lift your arms into the sky. If it's true, you'll lose the one thing that was always there for you. Memories fade to black in the nightmare, it just keeps on coming back. Bitterness can turn to sweet and then it knocks you off your feet. It's your ghost inside, you can run, you can hide, but you cannot escape. Lost in the rain, I can't find my way. It's the ghost inside, I can't break through. I still can't find my way. I'm blinded by the rain. It's the ghost inside, I can't get through. Yeah. Save me. Come on, come on, come on, come on and save me. If it's true, you'll lose the one thing that was always there for you. Memories fade to black in the nightmare, it just keeps on coming back. Bitterness can turn to sweet and then it knocks you off your feet. It's your ghost inside, you can run, you can hide, but you cannot escape.